This message arrives with a quiet kind of weight, so listen with the part of you that already knows when something is speaking to your spirit. This is not about a passing attraction, or a connection that appears for a season and disappears with the wind. This is about a man whose life is slowly moving into rhythm with yours. Not loudly, not carelessly, but steadily, as if two paths have been bending toward the same road for longer than either of you could see. He is not meant to come near you, only to leave you guessing. He is not the kind of presence that enters your life to stir the waters, awaken hope, then vanish. The energy here points to someone who stays, someone who chooses with both feet on the ground, someone who will stand beside you with a clarity that does not need to be begged for. But before his arrival can be understood, you have to see what has happened within you. Chosen one, you are not who you were when your heart was giving more than it was receiving. There was a version of you that trusted too quickly, poured too freely, and believed love would naturally honor the depth you offered. Instead, you met lessons, you met disappointment. You met people who could not recognize the treasure they were standing beside, and still none of it was wasted. The pain sharpened your sight. The loneliness taught you your own voice. The unanswered questions became a doorway into wisdom. Your heart is still open, but it is no longer exposed to every hand that reaches. You have learned the difference between devotion and illusion. You do not chase confusion anymore. You do not kneel before mixed signals. You are becoming the kind of person who can receive love without abandoning yourself. The Eight of Swords reversed rises here like a blindfold loosening after a long night of believing the prison was stronger than your own spirit. The swords are still in the scene, yes, but they no longer get to define the scene. The bindings, the grey water, the distant place you thought you could not reach, all of it becomes a mirror. And the mirror says this: the old fear is losing authority. The inner tension is simple, but sacred. Part of you still remembers being trapped in doubt, while another part is already walking out. That is why this love cannot meet the former version of you. It must meet the one who has learned to stand still, breathe deep, and recognize peace when it arrives. The King of Pentacles reversed stands at the doorway of that peace, reminding you that not every solid-looking thing is truly safe. You have learned this through places where the throne looked impressive, but the heart behind it was unavailable. You have seen the coin shine in someone's hand while their spirit remained closed. You have watched promises hang like vines around a castle wall, beautiful from a distance, but unable to feed you when you were tired. And this is where the old pattern begins to lose its power. Chosen one, the disappointment did not come to embarrass you. It came to educate your discernment. It taught you that a person can appear established and still be emotionally poor. Someone can know how to speak about loyalty and still disappear when consistency is required. Someone can offer attention and still withhold presence. That is why you are no longer impressed by appearance alone. You are listening for fruit. You are watching how a person handles pressure. You are noticing whether their kindness remains when they are not trying to win you. You are asking deeper questions without needing to interrogate anyone. Because your spirit has become more sober. There was a time when intensity felt like proof. The fast messages, the sudden confession, the dramatic pull, the almost unbearable chemistry, all of it felt like love knocking loudly at the door. But some doors are loud because there is no foundation beneath them. Some connections shake the room because they are not rooted enough to stand quietly. Now, peace may arrive so gently that an older version of you might have mistaken it for nothing. A calm voice, a steady pattern, a person who does not make your nervous system run, a presence that does not force you to perform for attention. At first, that kind of safety can feel unfamiliar, even strange, because your heart has been trained by storms to expect thunder. But the deeper truth is not about him first. It is about who you have become. You are learning that love does not have to keep you guessing to stay alive. It does not have to make you anxious to feel meaningful. It does not have to wound you first so the healing feels romantic later. Real alignment will not demand that you trade your peace for proof. The inner tension is this. Part of you still craves the spark that proves you are wanted, while another part now desires the steadiness that proves you are valued. That is maturity rising. That is your crown turning right side up inside your own soul. And when the right person comes, you will not need the old chaos to recognize him. You will feel the difference in your body. Your breath will settle. Your thoughts will clear. Your worth will not feel like a question on trial. Peace will not bore you anymore. It will testify. The Page of Pentacles reversed answers that testimony by warning you not to confuse a shiny promise with a grown presence. Peace is not proven by a coin held up in the sun, or by words that sparkle for one afternoon and vanish by evening. It is proven by what remains when performance falls away. Chosen one, this is why the energy of your future spouse must be understood differently. He is not arriving as a fantasy wrapped in noise. He is not coming as someone who has to dazzle you before he can be trusted. His strength is quieter than that. It moves like fertile ground under your feet. It feels like a man who has learned the cost of careless choices and does not want to build on sand. There is a steadiness around him that may surprise you. Not because he is perfect, and not because he has never struggled, but because he has become accountable to his own life. He is not simply holding potential. He is learning how to turn potential into structure. He understands that affection without follow-through becomes another empty field. He knows that love cannot live on intentions alone. You may sense this in the way he listens. He will not rush to fill every silence. He will not treat your feelings like an interruption. His presence will have weight, like someone standing with both feet planted in honest earth. And for a heart that has known people who were distracted, inconsistent, or emotionally half-grown, this kind of presence will feel almost holy. Yet the inner tension is real. You may wonder whether calmness is enough. A part of you may still scan for dramatic proof, for immediate certainty, for that flash of intensity that makes the whole sky seem to open. But another part of you will notice the smaller evidence. The returned call, the kept word, the gentle patience, the way he remembers what matters to you without needing applause. This is where your discernment becomes sacred. You are not being asked to lower your standards. You are being asked to refine them. Instead of asking whether someone feels exciting in the first moment, you begin asking whether they remain respectful in the 5th, the 10th, the ordinary days when no one is watching. That is how you will recognize him. Not by a costume of stability, but by a pattern of it. Not by a single grand gesture, but by repeated choices that make your heart feel safe to unfold. His energy is grounded, intentional, and emotionally mature because he does not need to keep you off balance to keep your attention. He will not demand that you gamble your peace for the possibility of love. He will make love feel like a place where your feet can finally touch earth. And when you feel that ground beneath you, you will understand why the old sparkle was never the same as gold. The magician reversed turns that old sparkle into a warning, because what glitters in the hand is not always power, and not every impressive gesture is love. The gold you are being prepared for is quieter. It does not need smoke, mirrors, or a stage. Chosen one, this is why he moves slowly. Not because he is uncertain about wanting something real, but because he has learned that real things deserve care. He may have lived through moments that taught him the danger of acting from impulse. He may have seen how fast desire can build a house with no door, no roof, no place for a heart to rest when the rain comes. So he has become more intentional. He does not rush his feelings into performance. He watches the soil before planting. He studies the season. He notices whether words and actions are walking in the same direction. This is not coldness. This is maturity with a steady pulse. There is an inner tension in him too. Part of him may want to move toward you quickly, drawn by your warmth, your depth, the way your presence feels like a candle in a guarded room. But another part of him understands responsibility. He knows that if he opens the gate, he must be willing to tend what grows beyond it. That is why he does not treat commitment like a pretty sentence. To him, choosing someone means showing up when emotion is not dramatic. It means being present when life becomes ordinary. It means protecting trust after the first fire softens into a daily flame. He is not interested in making love look powerful while leaving it weak underneath. He has seen enough masks. He has outgrown the kind of charm that wins attention but cannot hold devotion. His inner world has been shaped by lessons that made him more private, more observant, and more serious about what he allows close. So when he begins to open, it will not feel like a rehearsed speech. It will feel like a door unlocking from the inside. You may notice it in the way he remembers small details, the way he makes room for your feelings without turning them into a burden, the way his protection does not cage you, but steadies the atmosphere around you. And this matters because you are not asking for illusion anymore. You are not asking for someone who can say the right thing under moonlight and disappear at sunrise. You are asking for a love with hands, a love with roots, a love that can carry weight without making you feel heavy. His pace is part of the proof, and when he finally chooses, it will not be magic tricks scattered across a table. It will be intention made visible, one steady act at a time. The Four of Swords reversed rises from that steady act, like someone waking from a long inner winter, because intention does not stay hidden forever. There comes a moment when rest becomes readiness, and readiness begins to move. Chosen one, this is where recognition enters. Not the kind of recognition that makes you lose yourself, not the kind that drags you into obsession, fantasy, or panic. This recognition is quieter. It feels like a room becoming still when the right person walks through the door. It feels like your spirit looking up before your mind has found the words. You may meet him while life looks ordinary. A road, a public place, a simple errand, a gathering where nothing dramatic was supposed to happen. The setting may not announce itself as sacred, yet something in the atmosphere will shift. The air may feel clearer. The noise around you may soften. A small silence may open between one breath and the next. And then there is the gaze, not a gaze that consumes you, not a look that tries to conquer, but one that pauses, notices, and stays present. It may feel as if he is not just seeing your face, but sensing the life behind your eyes. The healed places, the guarded places, the parts of you that learned to smile while carrying more than people knew. This is why the timing matters more than the fantasy. If this meeting had come too early, you might have confused his calm with distance. You might have tried to pull certainty out of him before trust had soil. You might have measured the connection by speed instead of substance. But now, something in you has awakened from that old exhaustion. You are not asking lightning to prove the sky is real. The inner tension will be subtle. Part of you may want to question the peace, because peace has not always been familiar. You may wonder why you are not spinning, why you are not frightened, why your body is not preparing for abandonment. But that is the movement. Your spirit is learning that safety does not always arrive with thunder. There can be chemistry without chaos. There can be attraction without anxiety. There can be a spark that warms instead of burns. And for him, the recognition may come through your steadiness. He may notice the way you carry yourself now, not as someone begging to be chosen, but as someone who has survived the valley and returned with her lamp still burning. He will feel that you are not simply beautiful. You are deep. You are awake. You are not easily fooled by noise anymore. So when the first exchange happens, it will not need to be perfect. It only needs to be honest. A word, a glance, a pause, and suddenly the ordinary road becomes a threshold. The King of Wands stands at that threshold like fire learning discipline, turning the ordinary road into a place where desire must prove it can lead with honor. The spark is not denied here. It is refined. Chosen one. This is where consistency becomes the true sign. Because attraction may open the door, but consistency decides whether the house can stand. Anyone can feel drawn to your light for a moment. Anyone can be moved by your beauty, your softness, your mystery, your way of carrying both tenderness and strength. But the one who is meant to walk with you will not only admire the flame, he will protect it. You will see it in action, not pressure. He will not need to overwhelm you with speeches about who he is. He will show you through direction. He will follow through when he says he will. He will make space for you without making you feel like you are interrupting his life. He will know how to pursue without hunting, how to lead without controlling, how to desire without consuming. That distinction matters. The inner tension in this season is between being wanted and being honored. Your old wounds may be tempted to celebrate any attention that feels intense. But the wiser part of you will pause and ask whether that attention has reverence. Does it respect your pace? Does it notice your boundaries? Does it become kinder when closeness increases? This man's energy carries warmth but not recklessness, confidence but not arrogance, passion but not instability. Like a wand with green leaves rising from it, his desire is alive, yet it is connected to growth. Like a throne carved with lions and small guardians, his strength knows it must protect more than pride. Like the wide sky behind him, there is room in his presence for your spirit to breathe. He may be ambitious. He may have a vision. He may be someone who has learned to move through the world with authority. But what will separate him from the ones before is not his charisma. It is how he uses it. He will not use fire to blind you. He will use it to warm the path. And your role is not to chase the flame. Your role is to observe whether it remains steady when the room gets quiet. Because the right person will not make you decode every message. He will not keep your heart pacing in the hallway, waiting for permission to feel secure. His clarity will have movement. His interest will have structure. His affection will have feet. So when he chooses you, it will not be a burst of heat that leaves ashes behind. It will be a lantern carried forward, again and again. The Ten of Wands enters after that lantern, showing what happens when you have carried too much for too long and almost called the weight normal. The road is still there, chosen one, but now you are beginning to understand that love is not supposed to arrive only after you collapse. For so long, you may have been the one holding everything. The hope, the explanation, the patience, the emotional labor. You carried conversations that should have carried you back. You carried silence and tried to translate it into meaning. You carried people's confusion and wondered why your own spirit felt tired. But real partnership does not ask you to become a beast of burden before you are worthy of tenderness. This is where healing enters the relationship, not as a sudden miracle, but as a new atmosphere. With him, you will begin to notice how strange peace can feel when exhaustion has been your teacher. You may reach for the old habit of managing every feeling, preparing for every shift, reading every pause like a warning. Then his steadiness will meet you there, not with impatience, but with presence. He will not punish you for needing reassurance while you learn safety. He will not make your healing feel inconvenient. He will understand that the heart does not drop its burdens simply because someone kind has arrived. Sometimes the body still bends forward under invisible wands. Sometimes the soul still expects love to become another long road walked alone. Yet he will show you another way, not by rescuing you from yourself, not by becoming the whole answer to every wound, but by standing close enough that you remember you were never created to carry every branch by yourself. He may help in ordinary ways, a calm conversation, a steady hand, a practical solution. A moment where he says less than others did, but does more than they ever offered. And something in you will soften. The inner tension is sacred. Part of you may fear that receiving support will make you weak. Another part is tired of proving strength through suffering. This connection invites that second part to rise. It teaches you that strength is not only endurance. Strength is also allowing the right hands to meet yours at the bundle. That is how old patterns begin to fade, not because the past is erased, but because your nervous system receives new evidence. Love can stay. Love can listen. Love can notice the strain before resentment forms. Love can become a place where the load is named, shared, and slowly made lighter. And chosen one, when you finally feel that difference, you will not need to romanticize struggle anymore. You will look toward the distant home and realize the journey is still yours. But now, you do not have to walk it carrying everything alone. The lover's reversed meets that lighter road with a sober question. When the load is finally shared, will both hearts choose the same direction? Because partnership is not only comfort chosen one, it is also alignment. It is two people standing before the same horizon and asking what kind of life they are willing to build. This is where the vision widens. Love is not meant to live only in the rush of being desired. It must eventually learn the language of mornings, bills, plans, repairs, family conversations, tired evenings, and ordinary grace. The future you are being prepared for is not a fragile dream held together by chemistry. It is a living structure, built beam by beam, choice by choice, with patience instead of pressure. With him, shared purpose becomes part of the bond. He will not only ask how you feel, he will care about where you are going. He will want to understand your dreams, not so he can control them, but so he can stand beside them with respect. And you, in return, will begin to see that his ambition is not just about success. It is about security, legacy, a table with enough peace around it for both of you to breathe. There may be moments when the two of you have to choose maturity over impulse. That is the inner tension here. Desire may pull quickly, but true partnership asks for honesty. It asks what values are being joined. It asks whether the red mountain of passion and the green garden of daily life can belong to the same covenant without one swallowing the other. And this is where love becomes sacred in a practical way. Not loud vows without follow-through, not fantasies that avoid responsibility, but the humble devotion of building a home where both people feel seen, a place with warm windows, a place where laughter can return after hard days, a place where your softness is not exploited and his strength is not turned into isolation. Family may matter deeply in this connection, whether that means children, chosen family, community, or simply the quiet household you create together. The point is not a single image of the future. The point is devotion with roots, a life where support becomes normal, where encouragement is not rare, where both of you keep growing without outgrowing the promise to care. You will not have to shrink to fit beside him. He will not have to lose himself to love you. Instead, both of you are invited into a higher kind of union, the kind where passion has a conscience, ambition has tenderness, and home is not a cage. It is a garden both hands keep choosing. The Four of Cups sits beside that garden both hands keep choosing, reminding you that even fertile ground can be missed when the heart is staring at old cups. Divine timing often looks quiet before it looks obvious. Chosen one, this is the part of the journey where waiting can feel heavier than movement. You have done the inner work. You have loosened the fear. You have stopped chasing the people who only knew how to take from your softness. Yet there may still be days when you sit beneath your own tree, arms folded around your tired hope, wondering whether anything is actually changing. But what once looked like delay may have been preparation, not punishment, not rejection, not proof that love forgot your name. Preparation, the kind that happens beneath the soil, where roots stretch before flowers appear. The kind that happens behind the curtain, where two people are being shaped before they are trusted with each other. You may not see every movement. He may be learning patience somewhere you cannot reach. He may be outgrowing old patterns, leaving behind distractions, becoming more honest about what he truly wants. And you may be learning the same in your own sacred language. You may be learning not to accept a cup simply because it is offered. You may be learning to recognize which cup carries peace and which one only repeats thirst. That is the inner tension here. Part of you is afraid to hope again because hope has felt expensive. Another part of you senses that closing completely would be another kind of loss. So you sit between the 3 cups of memory and the 1 cup of possibility, trying to decide whether your heart can trust the hand reaching from the cloud. And no, you do not have to force yourself open. You do not have to pretend you are healed beyond your actual pace. You do not have to turn every small sign into proof. You are allowed to be careful. You are allowed to be still. But do not let disappointment make you blind to the gentle arrivals. Sometimes alignment enters softly, a repeated pattern, a sudden calm, a conversation that feels cleaner than the ones before, a sense that your body is not bracing. These are not guarantees carved in stone, but they can be invitations to pay attention. So the invitation is not to chase, but to become still enough to receive. Let timing do its hidden work. Let the roots deepen. Let the cup come close enough for your spirit to recognize its substance. Because when love is truly aligned, it will not demand that you abandon your peace to prove your faith. It will meet you in the shade, patiently, until your heart remembers how to lift its eyes. The Eight of Pentacles reversed meets the moment your heart lifts its eyes, asking whether all this inner work has become a sacred discipline or another way to prove you deserve love. And chosen one, that question is not weakness. It is the ache of someone who has spent years carving herself into someone stronger, wiser, clearer, and still wonders when love will finally recognize the hands that kept building. You have labored over your own spirit. You have studied your patterns like an apprentice in a quiet workshop. You have learned which doors drain you, which voices awaken your fear, which promises sound golden but leave your table empty. You have polished your boundaries. You have repaired your self-respect. You have stacked lesson after lesson on the wall of your life until even the painful ones began to form a pattern. But the revelation is this. Being chosen begins with the moment you stop making self-improvement a payment for affection. That is the full circle. You are not becoming valuable because someone finally arrives. You were valuable before the first lesson, before the first heartbreak, before the first night you wondered why you were not enough. The work did not create your worth. The work only cleared away the lies that buried it. There is an inner tension here. Part of you may still believe that if you become more healed, more radiant, more patient, more understanding, love will finally have permission to stay. But another part of you is waking up to a holier truth. You do not have to perfect yourself to be loved well. You only have to stop handing your unfinished places to people who use them against you. The right man does not meet you as a project. He does not stand over your life with criticism disguised as concern. He does not demand endless labor before offering steadiness. He sees your effort, yes, but he also sees the person beneath the effort, the tired hands, the faithful heart, the quiet mastery that came from refusing to let disappointment make you cruel. And when he honors you, it will feel powerful, not because you were empty before him, but because he recognizes what you already reclaimed. This is the final shift, chosen one. You stop working for love like a servant outside the gate. You begin living from love like someone already seated at the table. You keep growing, but not from panic. You keep healing, but not from shame. You keep becoming, but not because your worth is unfinished. Your future love can meet you now because you have stopped abandoning the craftsman within your own soul. You are valuable. You are ready. And love can finally meet you without requiring you to leave yourself behind. Without leaving yourself behind, chosen one, you now stand in the quiet after the revelation. Not empty, not begging, not reaching for every passing cup, just standing there with your spirit gathered back into your own hands. And maybe that is the deepest preparation of all, because the love that is truly aligned with you will not require panic as payment. It will not demand that you shrink, chase, over-explain, or prove your tenderness to someone committed to misunderstanding it. It will not make your heart live on crumbs and call it devotion. So breathe. Let the old ache loosen its grip. Let the waiting become less of a wound and more of a sacred pause. You are not late. You are not too much. You are not forgotten because one chapter took longer to turn than you hoped. Some things grow underground before they rise into sight. Some hearts need time to become safe enough for the love they are asking to receive. And until that love stands before you with clarity, keep choosing the life that brings you back to peace. Keep honoring your boundaries. Keep listening to the still place inside you. Keep letting your worth be something you know, not something another person has to announce before you believe it. If this message found the hidden place in you, carry one question into the rest of your day. Where am I still abandoning myself for a love that should meet me whole? Sit with that gently. The answer may become the doorway,